Thank you. Good evening, ladies, and welcome once again to yet another edition of Ladies' Night Out, featuring the very much overrated Catholic boys. Welcome also to our beautiful downtown Urbana and this magnificent St. Patrick's Dinner Theater and all-purpose basement room. Tonight's extravaganza is cleverly entitled the Outtakes and Bloopers Edition, or as we like to call it, the worst of the Catholic boys. And I can tell right now that there are two burning questions each of you lovely ladies have. And the answer to both is yes. Yes, these tunes were so poorly constructed and thought out and executed during rehearsals that they didn't make it they were chopped off. And yes, to the second question, it is too late to get your money back. So please sit back, kick off your shoes, and try to enjoy the worst of the Catholic boys. Tonight's super exciting show opens with a scene from a fairly recent Catholic boys meeting. This is where the Catholic boys were uncharacteristically testy with each other. It seems that the fellows were locked in a musical debate. Half wanted our opening number to be sophisticated, formal, traditional, if you will, while the other contingent of boys wanted our opener to be funky, hip-hoppy, and probably way too young. Well, who won, you ask? Ladies, who won? It's too close to call? Who cares? It's over. Our next number was to be in the show Catholic Boys Fill the Pews campaign back in 2014. In that highly forgettable marathon, we Catholic boys took it upon ourselves to bring even bigger numbers to our masses. We noticed one large segment was missing. It was the men. Let's face it, it's hard to compete with NFL Sunday football. Well, we had the idea what better way to bring them in back to Mass than to have a pigskin flavor? And what better way than to have a marching band? And not your ordinary rah-rah marching band, but a band that was more hip-hoppy, jazzier, quite a collection of combos, a truly musical revolution. Here now is that scene that was regrettably cut from the show for being truly hideous. As I'm sure you will agree. But first, ladies, it's time. I'm sure you noticed them on your chairs as you came in. Please, show us your kazoos. We know this is a very difficult instrument to play, but we're in luck tonight. We have a world-famous kazooist in our midst. And here to teach you the proper technique is our very own Jimmy, the Kazoo Kid Mayor.
Now, ladies, don't get too anxious. Even though it's taken me years to perfect this instrument, I can give you a lesson in 2 minutes that's going to have you playing pretty well. So, first of all, you have to breathe from the diaphragm. So now, together with me, everybody. All right, you got that part down. Now next, I repeat, do not blow on the narrow end. You need to blow on the fat end, and you need to have the little opening facing up. Wrap your lips around that end, and you use a kind of a humming motion. So it's like so. All right, you're experts.
the year 1994, before most of you were born, on one of our very first shows, the Catholic Boys Traveled West, and the brilliantly named Catholic Boys Travel West show. In that blockbuster, we boys were discovering ourselves as well as our glorious country. We traveled far to attend the National Youth Conference. Our boys soon found themselves in Colorado. The following number depicts an eventful evening where a few of our boys happened to stumble upon a fire erupting in a nearby abandoned farmhouse. A local paper later reported that apparently a few grow lamps in the basement of the house overheated, sparking that plant-filled dwelling into a smoking inferno. All would have been lost if not for our suddenly fuzzy-headed boys who brilliantly doused the fire with their Mountain Dew. Alas, back in '94, this number had to be canceled when it was discovered that none of our boys could remember the lyrics or anything else about that evening. But now that marijuana is legal for medicinal purposes only, and a few of the boys are clear-headed, we feel it's time to bring this back to you. So now here from those big hills in Colorado,
coming home to a place I've never been before. Left yesterday behind me, you might say I was born again. You might say I found the key for every door. When I first came to the mountains, my life was far away, on the road and singing for a song. But the fire blew my mind now, and the smoke, it was so sweet, made me mellow for the hills I long. The Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain fire in the sky. Shadows from the starlight, smoke and a lullaby. Rocky Mountain High.
We climbed Cathedral Mountain, we saw silver clouds below. We saw everything as far as we could see. They say that we got crazy once and we tried to touch the sun. We lost our keys but we kept our memories. Now we walk in quiet solitude through the forest and the streams, seeking grace in every step we take. Our sight has turned inside ourselves to try and understand
Anyway, one of our very few really decent shows, in my opinion, occurred in 2008 when we presented Catholic Boys Go to the World Series. If you recall, we boys helped the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Yes, we are visionaries. We saw it coming nearly a decade before the Cubbies actually did it. Sadly, in 2008, this next number had to be cut at the last minute when our resident St. Louis Cardinal fan, Chris McDonald, just couldn't bring himself to sing about his bitter rivals winning the World Series. I do believe, though, that with your help, good ladies, we might get him to relent tonight. He has, after all, matured a bit in those passing years. So, please help me now to give that encouragement. So, sing with me now, if you would. Go, Chris, go. Go, Chris, go. Hey, St. Patrick's, what do you say? Chris is gonna sing today. Go, Chris, go. Go, Chris, go. Hey, St. Patrick's, what do you say? Chris is gonna sing today. Go, Chris, go. Go, Chris, go. Hey, St. Patrick's, what do you say? Chris is gonna sing today. Now, ladies, thank you. Thank you. Here he is. Now, just give us a moment. I need just a moment with Chris. Now, Chris, I told you that if you want to sing the song, you got to wear the hat. Remember that? Remember that conversation? Now,
I have the jersey.
that's good, Chris. I'm pleased. I'm proud of you for doing that bold move, but you got to wear the hat. No hat, no song. That's the deal. We're going for the red one. It's from the 2016 mega hit, Catholic Boys Run for President. If you were unfortunate enough to be here that night, you will recall that the Catholic Boys ran a very close third to Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, actually capturing the popular vote, but in the end getting cheated by the Russians. Ladies, It is a little known fact that Donald Trump, in stumping for president, thought he needed help with his image. His staff asked him whom he thought was the wisest, most influential figure in history, dead or alive, whose wisdom he should use, and the integrity of that person would build his image and that person's persona. Names like Roosevelt, Churchill, Kennedy were floated about. Mr. Trump hired just such a person to teach him to be wise and influential, charismatic while campaigning. The two set out stumping for a few venues. Who was the person Mr. Trump chose, you ask? Well, as you might have guessed. Yes, ladies. Elvis is in the building.
Thank you very much. All right, ladies, before you get started, you can just stare at me while I catch my work. Now I'm going to introduce a good friend of mine. You can say I'm his teacher. Of course I am, I'm the king. I'm his teacher, and I'm teaching him how to walk like this, and how to talk like this, and how to dress like this. Hunk of burning love. So here he is, my good friend, Ronald Trump. Come on out, Ronnie. It's Donald. It was old Ronald, Donald. It don't make no difference, man. I'm going to sing a song about my friend. He is a... Ronnie, just jump in if you think you can keep up. You know he can be found a tweeting all alone. They don't want him around, but I'm scared for alone. But don't be cool, learning to be cool, I'm real cool. They don't want no other love. Baby, it's just him. He's thinking Baby, if you really get mad, I saw that he might have said, please forget his past story. His future looks bright ahead. Don't be cruel. What's wrong at school? You don't want no other love. Baby, it's just him. He's thinking of. Don't stop voting for him. He don't want to lose that way. Come on over here and praise him. You know what I want you to say. Don't be cool. He's trying to be cool. Don't listen to fake news. Baby, don't you step on the sweet gym shoes. They got to let him in. And if they should impeach him, well, he promised America be great again. Don't be they don't want no other love. Baby, it's him. He's Let's go. No, he's not that big of a fool. They don't want don't be cruel. Don't be to a big old they don't want no baby. It's just him. Me. He's thinking. Okay, Ronnie, it's your turn now. It's Don. Okay. All right, Lonnie. Now, what do you think of this beautiful audience full of these beautiful ladies?
Well, look to me. At least 100,000 people. At least 100,000 people. All I know, it's a much bigger crowd than that Obama fella had last year.
Oh, Lonnie, that's fake news.
Well, one for the money, other for the show, other people. Now go get it, go. Give it all, big news. You can do anything but the odds of that big news. Get along now, name all over the place. I know anything that's all to do. Oh, baby, they all that make news. Bring my liquor from an old fruit jar. Do anything the woman do, but I know, baby, they all got big news. No, baby, no, big news. You can do anything, they all got big news. It's big news, baby. The big news, baby. But they all that big fake news.
Thank you very much.
Thank me very much.
Ronnie, you got a lot to learn.
Ladies, backstage, I was instructed to beg you all to please remain seated. Oh, this is unreal. By the way, I think I know why the boys cut back from the original show. It was outstanding. Professional jealousy. Sad. Anyway, ladies, I'm quite certain you'll find our next worst of number to live up to that title perfectly. It comes to our 2006 show, Catholic Boys Go to Boot Camp. If you were roped into coming here for that mess, you may remember we Catholic boys took it upon ourselves to train all of St. Pat's employees and volunteers in virtually everything St. Pat's. This potentially decent show shows us training our St. Pat's servers to be the very synchronized, singing and marching young people we've come to expect at every Mass. In fact, we were so confident in their abilities, we entered them in a national competition, unbeknownst to our parish priest. I'm quite certain it won't take you ladies long to see why this woefully choreographed number ended up on the chopping block full floor and in last place at the Nationals.
Left, 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 right, left. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are serving 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 in the light of God. We are serving, serving, we are serving, we are serving in the light of God. We are serving, serving, we are serving, we are serving in the light of God. We are dancing 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 in the light of God. We are dancing, dancing, we are dancing, we are dancing in the light of God. We are dancing, dancing, we are dancing, we are dancing in the light of God. We are marching 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 in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching. We are marching in the light of
Yes, ladies, I agree. It's truly embarrassing. Now from the year 2011's Catholic Boys World Tour comes yet another bleak number. If you remember, on this world tour, to promote peace, love, and understanding, our boys, after refusing to ask for directions, and not having the wives there to nag us into doing it, we got hopelessly lost in the Sahara Desert in our attempt to find the exotic Mecca called Thomasboro, Illinois. An honest mistake, but a big mistake for sure. After wandering aimlessly for a few days, the boys were miraculously led to safety by the most unusual characters. A very tight-lipped, nameless stranger who went about the business of rescuing the boys without uttering a word. But that wasn't the unusual part. The unusual part was a stranger with a horse. But before we start, I'd like to ask you ladies, do we have any la-la-la singers out in the audience that can sing along? I know we have a lot of golden voices out there tonight. So we're asking for your help. If you would please sing la-la-la when it comes around, and I'm sure you'll hear it. As you know, we need all the help we can get. And now, here is that horse tale. Ladies, I promise you that this next little number is just as obnoxious as that last one. In our 2010 extravaganza, Catholic Boys Go to Branson. Get this. You may recall, this was our St. Patrick's Day themed all-Irish show. We had an all-Irish show set in Branson, Missouri, 2 full months after St. Patrick's Day. Yes, ladies, that's how we Catholic boys roll. This is our signature audience participation song. At that time, after practicing several times, our boys deemed it much too strenuous for the good ladies. But that was then. And we now feel confident that all you ladies have surely trained your hearts out for just this moment. It is indeed your turn to shine. Please stand up and let's get ready to rumble!
Hey, everybody's up! Everybody up! Don't give me that monarchy. Come on, get up, get up. It does the body good. Now this is an audience participation, so sing as we sing and do as we do. All right? It's a familiar old tune. It's very repetitive. So if you don't know it, you'll learn it quickly. All right? So we'll start it slowly, and then we just might get naughty and amp it up a little. So let's see. All right. It goes like this. There was an old man named Michael Finnegan. He grew fat and he grew thin again. He grew whiskers on his chin again. Poor old Michael Finnegan, begin again. Very good. There was an old man named Michael Finnegan. He grew fat and he grew thin again. He grew whiskers on his chin again. Poor old Michael Finnegan, begin again. There was an old man named Michael Finnegan. He grew fat and he grew thin again. He grew whiskers on his chin again. Poor old Michael Finnegan, begin again. There was an old man named Michael Finnegan. He grew fat and he grew thin again. He grew whiskers on his chin again. Poor old Michael Finnegan, begin again. There was an old man named Michael Finnegan. He grew fat and he grew thin again. He grew whiskers on his chin again. Poor old Michael Finnegan, begin again. There was an old man named Michael Finnegan. He grew fat and he grew thin again. He grew whiskers on his chin again. Poor old Michael Finnegan, begin again. There was an old man named Michael Finnegan. He grew fat and he grew thin again. He grew whiskers on his chin again. Poor old Michael Finnegan, begin again. There was an old man named Michael Finnegan. He grew fat and he grew thin again. He grew whiskers on his chin again. Poor old Michael Finnegan, begin again. All right, give yourself a hand. Lovely, lovely ladies.
Our next concert was to be part of the 2009 show, Catholic Boys Go to Wall Street. In that never-to-be-forgotten production, our boys helped save the country's economy by paying a surprise visit to the minions at Wall Street to teach them about ethics. Obviously, the bigwigs did not listen to us. We had to cut this tune for the show, because try as we might, the Catholic Boys couldn't learn the words to the refrain. We scrapped it back in 2009, but we now bring it back with confidence that you ladies can help us. You did such a good job on that last La La song. Here are the pesky lyrics the boys could not get right, and I'd like for you to help us out tonight. Those lyrics go la da 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 da, la da 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 D. Talking about you and me and the games people play. See, tricky. We can't learn them. Hope you can help us. We, the Catholic Boys, at this time, thank you very much for your cooperation.
Every hallelujah, and they try to sock it to ya in the name of the Lord. They're gonna teach you how to meditate, read your horoscope, cheat your fate, and for the parts you compel the fate, come on, get on board.
Skin crawling, am I right? Ladies, the year 2013, the show, Catholic Boys Back to the Bible. You ladies who foolishly paid for this one did not see this scene due to a tragic accident that occurred during one of our many rehearsals. It seems that the special effects for the Moses and the burning bush scene were a little too special. A small but ferocious fire ensued, causing one singed beard, fake, along with 2 singed eyebrows, real. Not to mention much water and smoke damage done to our beautiful theater. Why then, you ask, are we confidently performing this very dangerous number tonight? We've taken a very cautious approach and have improved our safety measures by at least 17%. We're confident in the safety of all you lovely ladies, with the possible exception of those of you in the first 2 rows. Please, ladies, relax. We're pretty sure nothing can go wrong.
Moses!
Here I am.
Take the sandals off your feet. The place you're standing on is holy ground.
As I walk
ballad from our 2012 tribute to Pope Francis, entitled Catholic Boys Vatican Correspondence. Our very own crooner extraordinaire, Jim Mayer, was all set to sing this very composition, which he wrote and called I Pledge My Heart, when unbelievably, just prior to the show, we Catholic Boys heard from the legal team of none other than Tony Bennett, ordering a cease and desist on said song. Something about copyright infringement. Jim to this day insists it's an original song he penned from the epiphany he had one morning while eating bacon and eggs. Who knows where the truth lies, but just to be safe, ladies, we, the Catholic Boys, have secured our own legal team representing us. And we're proud to have our attorney, Steve Beckett, who drafted the following oath for you ladies tonight. And Steve, if you're here, can you come up? There's Steve.
I asked for the theme from Perry Mason, but he didn't know it. If you would all please stand. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. Thank you. I do solemnly swear. That I will not accuse Jim Mayer. Of stealing a Tony Bennett song. And furthermore, I do not think that Jim Mayer is smart enough to pull off a heist of this nature. If I'm approached by one of Tony's men, I will tell them in the most courteous and Christian way to get lost and never come back. Amen and hallelujah.
I pledge my heart
news, ladies. Finally, the finale. Where's the time gone? It seems just like 3 hours ago we started this. Now here we are at the last song. Our last song was to be performed in the spring of 2016. Yes, ladies, we Catholic boys dared to present 2 shows in 2016, which quickly prompted Bishop Jakey to order an official document banning such actions in the future. Anyway, during this much heralded production entitled Extreme Church Makeover, you may recall that we, the Catholic boys, single-handedly, as a group, completely redid the entire St. Pat's Church. Sadly, this next number, our last song, had to be cut when our plans for lighting the church went awry and left us all in the dark. The good news? Our very own Joseph Joachim, who touts himself as quite the handyman slash inventor slash all-around genius, has now come up with what he says is a surefire solution. Leave it to a genius like Joe to dream up a plan that involves the collection of starlight. Hopefully, he's right, and no one gets hurt.
very much, ladies. We do have a little short encore, but before that, I'd like to introduce our Catholic boys to you. First of all, in our pit orchestra, we have, and these were Catholic boys, remember, Mr. Ricky Murphy. On the drums, Mr. Joey Rasmussen. And at the lightboard, Mr. Tony Schutz. All right, and now I'd like to introduce for you our Catholic boys marching band. Please join me in welcoming, first of all, Mr. Terry Bosley. All right, and Mr. Sammy Reese. All right, and Mr. Gary Bosley. Next, Mr. Chrissy McDonald. Mr. Johnny Miner. Give it up. And Mr. Billy Blickham. Mr. Davey Madden. Mr. Chrissy Greenhoff. Mr. Gary Mazalik. And Mr. Joey Joachim. All right, ladies, it's that moment in the show again to bring out your kazoos and join us in playing 76 kazoos.